For 15 years, two men owned the throne of world football. One wore Barcelona blue, the other wore Real Madrid white. Messi and Ronaldo, El Clasico was their private battle. Spain was their stage, now it's 2026. Both men are in their late 30s, the throne is empty. And in Spain, a new war has already begun. On one side, a 27-year-old Frenchman who has spent his entire life being told he is the chosen one, and who is finally, at the Bernabeu, starting to look like it. On the other, an 18-year-old Spaniard who was photographed with Messi at 6 months old, who now wears Messi's number 10 at Barcelona, and who some coaches are already calling a talent that comes once every 50 years. Kylian Mbappé, Lamine Yaml, the new Messi versus Ronaldo. Except this rivalry is different, because this time it started before either of them was ready, and it is already producing moments that football will not forget. Mbappé, the weight of destiny. Let's start with Kylian Mbappé, because his story begins long before Real Madrid. Bondy, a suburb of Paris, a boy who decides at 7 years old that he will play for Real Madrid one day. He puts a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo on his bedroom wall, not as inspiration, as a target. At 18, he leads Monaco to the Champions League semifinals. At 19, he wins the World Cup with France, the second teenager in history to score in a World Cup final after Pelé. He does this and still looks like he has more to give. For 6 years at PSG, Mbappé is the best player in France, arguably the best player in the world. 256 goals in 308 appearances. 7 League One titles. A player so dominant that PSG built their entire project around him and still couldn't win the Champions League. In the summer of 2024, the dream finally happens. Mbappé signs for Real Madrid, free transfer. The most anticipated arrival at the Bernabeu since Ronaldo in 2009. The pressure is total. He inherits the number 9. He is expected to replace the unreplaceable. And in his first season, the question that follows him everywhere is the same one that followed Hazard. Will Madrid break him, or will he break Madrid's records? The answer, as of 2026, is finally becoming clear, and it's good news for football. Yamal's the boy who was in the photo. Now let's talk about the other side of this story, and we have to start with a photograph. July 2007. A UNICEF photo shoot at FC Barcelona, a 6-month-old baby held up by a 19-year-old Lionel Messi for the camera. The baby is smiling. Messi is smiling. That baby is Lamine Yaml. He joined Barcelona's La Masia Academy at 7 years old, the same academy that produced Messi, Xavi, Iniesta. He progressed faster than any player of his generation. In April 2023, at 15 years and 291 days old, he made his debut for the Barcelona first team, the youngest player in the club's history. He was still 15, he hadn't sat his school exams yet. By 16, he was a Champions League regular. By 17, he had won the European Championship with Spain, scoring the goal of the tournament against France in the semi-final, a left-footed curler into the top corner that sent an entire country into delirium. He was 16 years and 362 days old, one day before his 17th birthday. That goal, that image, that moment, it announced something to the world that the football community had been whispering about for months. Lamine Yaml is not just a talented teenager, he is a generational event. By 18, wearing the number 10 that Messi wore for 12 years, he has 53 goals and 47 assists for the numbers, 2 different paths to greatness. Let's compare where both players stand right now, because the numbers tell a fascinating story. Mbappé in 2025-26 at Real Madrid, 29 goals and 11 assists across all competitions. 24 goals in La Liga alone, currently challenging for the Pichichi, La Liga's Golden Boot. After a difficult first half of the season where he was adapting to a new league, a new system, and the spatial conflict with Vinicius Jr. on the left wing, he has exploded since January with 11 goals in 10 La Liga matches. The machine is finally running. Yaml in 2025-26 at Barcelona, 22 goals and 15 assists in La Liga alone at 18 years old. In the Champions League, 6 goals in 10 appearances, including a goal in the semifinal against Inter. His average match rating across the season sits at 8.33, making him one of the highest-rated players in Europe this season. Now here's where it gets extraordinary. Yamal is producing these numbers at 18. Mbappé didn't produce comparable numbers until he was 24 or 25. The age difference in their development curves is unlike anything football has seen since, yes, Messi and Ronaldo. Ronaldo at 18 was a promising winger at Sporting Lisbon. Messi at 18 was just breaking into Barcelona's first team. Yamal at 18 is one of the two best players in La Liga, right now, today. The comparison to Messi is not hype. The comparison to Messi is the data. The new El Clasico when they face each other. And then there are the Clásicos, because this is Spain. The rivalry lives and dies in those 90 minutes. October 2024, El Clasico at the Bernabeu. Mbappé starts for Real Madrid. Yamal starts for Barcelona, their first meeting on the biggest domestic stage in football. Barcelona win 4-0, Yamal scores. He becomes the youngest player in history to score in El Clasico, 17 years and 105 days old. Mbappé is largely ineffective, still adapting to the demands of Madrid. January 2025, El Clasico at the Nou Camp. Barcelona win again, 5-2. Yamal scores and completes 5 dribbles. The performance of a player who has no fear of the occasion, no fear of the opposition, no fear of anything. March 2026, El Clasico at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid win 3-2. Mbappé scores twice, his best Clasico performance. The resurgent version of Mbappé, adapted, settled, dangerous, showing what he can do when he is truly at home in a Real Madrid shirt. 3 Clásicos, 2 Yamal wins, 1 Mbappé win. The rivalry is real, the gap is closing. And this is just the beginning. Both players have potentially 15 years of these encounters ahead of them. Messi versus Ronaldo comparison, is this really the same? But let's be honest about something. The Messi versus Ronaldo comparison is the greatest rivalry in football history. 15 years, 13 Ballon d'Ors between them, hundreds of El Clásicos. A generation of football defined entirely by 2 men. Mbappé and Yamal are not there yet. Nobody is, and it would be dishonest to pretend otherwise. But the ingredients are there in a way that no other rivalry of the last decade has produced. Mbappé is already one of the greatest players of his generation. His PSG numbers, his World Cup winners' medal at 19, his capacity for the extraordinary, these are not in doubt. The question about Mbappé has never been talent. It has been whether he can do it at Real Madrid under the highest possible pressure when it truly matters in the Champions League. Yamal is doing things at 18 that only 2 players in the history of football have done at that age. One of them is the man whose number he wears. The other is Ronaldo. The 2024 Euro goal against France. The Clasico record, the number 10 at Barcelona, the photograph with Messi. Every detail of Yamal's story seems written by someone who understands the weight of football history. The difference with Messi and Ronaldo is that their rivalry built slowly over years, the legacy already being written. It is May 2026, Yamal is 18, Mbappé is 27, the rivalry is in its infancy. But already, football is producing moments from these 2 players that it will show for decades. The Euro 2024 semi-final goal, Mbappé's hat-trick in the 2022 World Cup final, Yamal's Clasico record, the image of Mbappé in full flight at the Bernabeu, finally, at last, looking like the player his talent always promised. The image of Yamal receiving the number 10 shirt, the same shirt Messi wore, with the same composure that Messi always showed. These are not just football moments, they are the opening chapters of something that will define the next decade of the sport. The Messi and Ronaldo era is over, but what it gave football, a rivalry so intense, so sustained, so brilliant that it elevated everything around it, that gift is being passed on. Mbappé and Yamal, Barcelona and Real Madrid, France and Spain, the number 10 versus the number 9. The Colosseum has new gladiators, and they are just getting started. Mbappé or Yamal, Real Madrid or Barcelona, the new throne of Spain. Who wins it? Drop your answer in the comments. Tell me who you think claims the Ballon d'Or first, and tell me why. Subscribe to MIG Zone.